Hello everyone, this is my girlfriend, Becca. And today we're doing a Q&A about what it's like to be in a relationship with a trans person. Are you ready?
Never been more ready.
Don't be so excited. Hello friends, it is Jamie and I'm back today with another video with my girlfriend Becca. But before we get into today's video, you all know that I am a nationally board certified health and wellness coach. I help trans people navigate the transition challenges to help them live authentically and fully within who they are. If you want to learn more about what I do, go to my website, www.wholeletteruhealth.com, and there you can schedule a free 30-minute connection call. Additionally, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me a lot. YouTube has those crazy algorithm things, so like, comment, subscribe, helps me, helps more people. Really appreciate it. Love you all. Now let's get into this video. So my question for you is, how long have we been together for?
Officially since July 4th of before pandemic, 2019.
2019, before pandemic. And she mentioned that our official date is July 4th, which is Independence Day. Do you want to tell them about why it's on July 4th and not July 3rd?
It was a mistake. That's all I can say. Supposed to ask July 3rd. It was midnight before I got around to it.
The thing was we were out having some adult fun time out on the lake with a couple of sodas.
Sounds a little racy.
No.
More like just drinking like adults.
Yes, we were drinking like adults, and time happened to get away from her. It was the first weekend she met my parents, and
back when we stayed up past midnight.
We stayed up past midnight. Now we go to bed at like 9:30 every night. But yeah, so she asked me at like 12:10, and she's like, dang it, no, it has to be July 4th. And I let her say like, no, we could do July 3rd still. She goes, nope, it has to be July 4th. So
I'm not a liar.
Now it's July 4th.
Not a liar.
Not a liar.
That's why.
Right. Mm-hmm. So where did we first meet?
In Minneapolis at Minnehaha Falls.
Was that the first? That was the first place that we met in person. How did we meet?
She's so
embarrassed about this.
You want to talk about Tinder?
Yep.
Everyone wants to talk about Tinder.
We met on Tinder, and it's funny because I was like on Tinder for like 5 years, like no luck at all, and she had it for like a day.
2.
And she just struck gold within that first day. Took me 5 years, but
found such a good match. I got out of it in less than 5 days.
Yeah,
that's good.
It worked out. You are a lesbian. Let's be honest here. So, would you like to tell them a little bit about your coming out story?
Sure.
Or your story.
I guess. So I'm from a really rural town in northern Wisconsin, and I was accused of being gay in high school, and so like any logical gay who's closeted, I decided to promptly get a boyfriend for about 7.5 years after that. And then came to the realization when I was in my first year of med school that something just wasn't right, which I had known for quite some time, but then figured out that I was very much gay, so that was the issue. And so I came out not long after.
And what have you learned since you came out?
Well, sex is better, first of all. No, for real. I guess I've learned to be myself more. I don't know about, what do you mean? Since I came out, people are a lot more open-minded than what I would have thought. Learned that. Check. Okay. It's a really general
You learned how to be happier?
I don't know if I learned how to be happier, but I just am happier.
You just are happier?
Yep, just am.
Before me, ever thought about dating a trans person?
If you can count Mulan. First crush. Like, oh gosh, whenever Mulan came out. Definitely, she was my first crush, whether or not I feel like it's Disney's try at representing a trans person who didn't really go through with her true identity. But no, I hadn't thought about it.
For you, what is it like dating a trans person?
I don't think it's any really that different than dating any other woman, to be completely honest. There's some things that are different, just like cultural norms that I think are a little bit different, but in general I think it's very much the same.
Can you give an example of like a cultural norm?
I think we've had discussions about this before, but one of the big things is like we were all probably taught as young females that you always protect yourself, so you go to bathrooms in pairs, you make sure you watch your drinks when you're out with the other girls, blah blah blah. Some of those like more cultural norms that you learn very, very young, I feel like maybe aren't as emphasized. But you know about them. They're just not like first nature the way that they are ingrained in a person who has been raised as a female from birth.
And I think that's interesting because for me, right, so we're just talking about my experience and our experience together, and for me, I can kind of relate to that. And there's some aspects of my life that, because I was raised a boy, I have some privileges, and just some little things like knowing how to jump a car, like she was a very tomboyish person.
I was raised as a boy.
Yeah, she was raised as a boy, but there's still like a lot of things that like, because I was a boy, like we're really outdoorsy and like, I don't know how to describe it, but like there's a lot of things that I was learned and taught that I was taught only because I was a boy that my sister wasn't taught. Then with her too,
I think it's more just dependent on your family.
But it was more socially stigmatized too, because your mom kind of kept pushing you, and you had more pressures to conform to what it meant to be a girl than a boy.
Yeah, sorry Mom, but my mother, I can remember millions of times telling me to act more like a lady when I was younger. So to her demise, I still don't wear dresses, so that's not something she's very happy about, but I'm kidding. She's mostly supportive. It's just she's
not
very
mostly
much,
she is supportive.
She is supportive. She just would probably prefer if I would dress in frilly dresses the way that she used to dress me when I was 2 years old.
What are some of the challenges you experienced dating me as a trans person?
I guess I thought the coming out was kind of over after I came out. That was one thing that we had to discuss and then talk to my parents and my family about. So that's always a discussion to be had when if it never really matters. And it didn't matter to my family at all. But it was just one other thing that we had to think about and discuss. And then I guess the only other one is just when meeting new people, if anyone would I don't think anyone really knows, but that's another thing, is just being overly protective. I'm fairly overly protective, so making sure that we're not in a situation where either one of us could be hurt emotionally, physically.
She's very protective, and she is like number one priority concern was to make sure that we are safe, and like, yeah, I would agree 100%. What have you learned dating a trans person?
So I'm in med school. So the biggest thing I think that I learned, not necessarily from you, but just in, again, safety and in understanding the transition. I did a ton of research on my own that was obviously probably emphasized because of us dating, that I probably wouldn't have done. So figuring out that the medical system, the current way that it supports trans individuals, is pretty messed up, to say it nicely. We have a lot more to do to make resources more accessible for individuals who are trans and just people of the LGBTQ community. So that was coming out, I guess, in like something I was learning as I was starting to date you, but then it was even more emphasized in the trans community, which I hadn't really thought about because I just hadn't really known anyone directly who was trans.
What do you enjoy about dating a trans person?
Finding dilators in the shower. It's always a good way to wake up in the morning. I don't know, the perspective. I think we've talked about this, but I think I have a type, which is like to be attracted to trans individuals. I just, for whatever reason, they seem like the perfect person I'm looking for, because I don't really like a girl who's like super frilly and wants me to do things for them, but I also do like that you're more athletic, which you can get in, honestly, any lesbian fairly athletic, but depends. I guess that's generalization.
Can't generalize.
But you're good at athletics, which definitely, again, is a generalization. I just think that I found the right fit. Whether or not it's because you're trans, I can't say.
So our souls are in alignment.
I don't know about that.
See the eye roll? One of our favorite things is to tease each other, so that's why. How would you describe our relationship?
I don't know. I think it changes day to day depending on what we're doing. I'd say we're pretty active people, so our relationship is very much go, 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 do something fun, but also supportive. You support me in basically anything I want to do, which is nice. And then I'd say that I very much control our relationship to the point of making sure that we're always in a safe situation and we're always making good choices with our time.
Would you say that I'm the yin to your yang?
I guess. I don't even know what that means.
Opposites balance each other out, even though we're not completely opposites, but we are like...
Oh, I don't think so, because I don't think many
people
are... We're not really
opposites.
Yeah, we're not that opposite. I think we're kind of like-minded, which is probably why we clash a little bit, but I'm more realistic and you're more dreamer style, so there always has to be a sort of middle of the pack agreement.
All right, so right now we are just going to do some rapid fire fun questions just to, lighten the mood a little bit. And then we're going to get into Becca's advice for dating trans people. What is next on our bucket list?
Become the pickleball champions of Eau Claire.
Woo! I agree. If you switched lives with anyone, who would it be? It can just be like for a day.
I feel like my grandma's dog gets a lot of good attention, gets all the good food. I think I would do that for a day, just to see what it's like to lay in the sun and do nothing all day.
I'd switch lives with her, just cause then I could understand how she thinks, and I think that'd be really productive in our relationship.
See, you took it seriously, and then I was not serious, but okay. Seriously,
see what I mean?
Seriously, I would pick Barack Obama.
What do you wish you were really good at?
I'm good at everything. No.
All right. A time machine. Would you rather go into the past or the future?
Future, definitely.
Future, same. What would be your superpower?
Flying.
I think flying for me too. What is your ideal romantic date? And I'm going to answer this one too.
I'd say camping in a really isolated area, but also having beer available.
This is why we work well together right here, because if we were playing the couples game, what would be our ideal date? Mine would be camping in a really rural area where we could be together.
Match made in heaven.
What advice would you give to others who date trans people?
I guess number one, just in any relationship, be open-minded. I think I was lucky to find you when you had kind of found yourself. So you allowed me to make mistakes with asking questions that are probably not the best to ask, like, what was your given name before? Like, insensitive questions. We're all learning, and that's one thing that I've tried to do my best in talking. And it wasn't like I was asking you directly. It would be like we would be talking about another trans individual, and I'd ask questions about, you know, their past, which I found out was not very respectful. But that's not something that obviously people know. So yes, being open-minded. Number 2, being extremely supportive. I think that sometimes, we've talked about this before, but people think that they're getting stared at, or when you're out in public, you know, you think that people are all like looking at you and you're feeling fairly insecure. And although that I'd say most of the time it's not really happening, the way that we're seeing it is still like meeting people where they're at. So meeting you where you're at and feeling that, you know, someone purposely misgendered you as opposed to, you know, it was accident and it could happen. I actually get misgendered more, which is ridiculous because I've never been misgendered before this relationship, which, whatever. Anyways, I think it's because I'm tall. I'm 6'2", just to throw that out there. So
for all you trans people that are also tall, know that cis women are also tall too. I'm 5'11". She
all the time. I get like
6'2".
misgendered, not transgendered.
Yeah.
I get misgendered. Sorry about that. Be open-minded, be supportive, and then also be forgiving, because I think that anyone who's went through a hard time, like having to transition, they're going to lash out at some times, just like any of us do who have underwent some type of trauma. So being understanding and forgiving in those situations that, hey, this isn't probably about you, or your relationship, or, you know, even if it's a friend who's coming out to you, it's not how they're reacting right now may have nothing to do with the relationship. It's just where they're at in their transition, in their path, whatever.
Good answers.
Yep. I didn't even think about that before.
I love you.
I love you too.
In there.
All right, I'm done.
Thank you. Hey, honey, you want to join me?
Don't call me honey.
Focusing on their identity, navigate the challenges that... I'm already gonna fuck this up. Hello friends, it's Jamie, and I'm back today with my girlfriend, Jamie.
Both of our names are Jamie now.
That'd be weird.
All right.
Friends,
people are gonna think you're making this shit up.
Oh! What are you doing?
Well, it was about to fall.
Now you're having me fucking up.
Oh my god.
Just... Sit up, sit up.
All right, are you gonna get rid of that picture? Because it looks like it's coming out my head.
No. Know that I am a health
You're a health expert?
Why am I getting nervous around you?
Are you a sexpert or an expert?
Hello friends, my name is Jamie, and I'm back today with a video with my girlfriend.
Do you want me to introduce you?
Stop. Stop. So today we're going to be talking about... You're on your sleeve.
Well, my sleeve's unrolled. I don't think they're meant to be rolled.
Just unroll them.
And it looks like I have big biceps.
Yeah.